Hi there, this is Dr. Everybody with Project 8. As before, we have an exam, so this project you have 2 weeks on. Project 7 was pretty challenging. After Project 7, this one is going to look pretty easy, I believe. It looks a lot worse than it is. So let's take a look at what we're dealing with. But in particular, this is just another project about dictionaries. So you did dictionaries for 7, now you're going to do dictionaries again. All right, so the files themselves that you're dealing with in this one are quite extensive, but we've done most of the work for them. So of course there's the project description, and we actually give you code to start with, a lot of code to start with. And there's a bunch, we're going to be doing some translating, and so here's the files that are for the project, and we've collected them all into a zip file. So you can download them individually or just download the zip file. I think the zip file is easier, but you get a choice. And then we need to have this one because we're going to include that. It just has to do with what we're doing in this project. So what's this project about? Well, what this project is about is translating. So we're going to do some translations. And all those files, those in fact were files for translating from English into a variety of, actually 7 languages. If we're doing 1, let's do 7. Because once we've built this system, that's what we can use. So we grabbed the 7 most popular languages according to a page on Wikipedia, and we're going to write a program that does translations. Now, what we've done here is there's really 2 different data structures that you can use to do this. One is with lists, and the other is with dictionaries. So what we've done is we've implemented this whole program using lists, and that's what we give you. And we ask you now to do it with dictionaries, and you're going to be doing it within the same program. So you're not going to rewrite the program. It's just there's a set of functions there which we will describe that you will then be working on. And each one of these functions looks like this one, for example. So get dictionaries, format a database, and what happens is that each one of these, so the program will run, has this filler, because every function needs something in there, and so that just means it's sort of like pass in card games. Just move on. And so what you need to do is replace pass with real code that actually does something. Right now this code gets called and it doesn't do anything, and that's what pass means, because the function body has to have something in it, and pass is just a filler. So you're looking for the functions that have that word pass in it, and there's a few of them. There's actually 3 of them that you have to do, and so you're looking for the passes, and that's what you have to replace with code that works. Okay, so what we need to do in this project is to implement the dictionary side, but this code that we're giving you actually runs. So I can just run it, and this takes a while. First of all, I have to read these dictionaries, which they each have 6,000 or 8,000 lines of code. So that takes a little bit of work, takes a little bit of time. My computer is working on backing up. There we go. So we pull in each of these databases. That work is already done for you. And then after it's pulled those databases in, it does translation, and then it prints some times at the end. And you'll notice that in my case it took a whole minute to read the input files, and then it did the list-based translation in 1800 milliseconds. And of course, it didn't take any time to do the dictionary base because there's nothing there. That's the part that we're going to write. So when you run this thing, it will actually have a real value there. Now, to make things simpler, hard-coded into this program is the text that we're translating. So we're simply translating this text here. Have you ever seen the pyramids? Blah, blah, blah. And then if you look at the code, what the code does is it starts by reading in each of the dictionaries, and then it prints out the original English text, and it's been made into lowercase, so we making our translation a little bit easier. And then it prints it out in Arabic and Spanish and Hindi and so on. And notice that because we have Unicode, we actually get the printout in the various scripts, non-ASCII scripts that are available. All right, so now you can see here that the list part works, and you have to go in and fill in the dictionary part. And one of the most important parts is this one where is this function, the one you start with, that creates dictionaries out of the lists. And so each one of these, so there's a sort of a master list. And each one, it has the language and the program, the dictionary, which we could just call a database, and that's in a tuple. Right? And then there's another language and its dictionary of translation, and so on. Right? So for example, we have a tuple that has Arabic and its dictionary database, and we have Hindi and its dictionary database, and so on. And each one of these is itself a list. So that list will be another set of tuples, simply with the word in English and the translation, and then a next word in English and its translation. And these lists are like 6,000 long or something like that. They're long lists. Whereas this list is 7 long, one for each language. So what's in this list? Well, if this was French, we have the word have and its translation, and we have the word baby and its translation to baby, and so on. Like I say, about 6,000 words. And so what we have to do is take this part, the lists, and replace them with dictionaries. So at the highest level, it's still going to be a list. So let me. So this part, in terms of structure, stays the same. All right, you have a language name and the dictionaries. All right, so we have the language name, and then we have this database, which now will be arranged as a dictionary, whereas before it was arranged as a list. Okay? And then again, but now this part here is what we have changed. And that which was a list before is now a Python dictionary, where we have word pairs like the word have and its translation, right, with the colons in between. All right, see the difference? That was a tuple up there, and now we have a dictionary entry. We had a tuple up there, and we have a dictionary entry. All right. So that's what you have to do. Is you have to do that. You have to write that function. Everything's there. You just have to do it. And one of the beauties of this, one thing that can help you out is, for example, if you're wondering about the translate from a dictionary function, well, you can go back in the code and see what was done with translating from a list. Here it is, translating from a list. So we're going to be doing the same types of thing, and so this list translation function, you know, and the lookup in a list, these things are going to be done with the dictionary, and you'll be able to, you know, you can refer back to the other one to help you out. A couple of other things here is that when we translate, this particular one is really, think of this as being a word. You know, this translates one word. This function translates the whole text that we have to deal with. It's been pre-processed, and that's explained in there. And so this, we loop in here each time we get the word translated there. Each one of these functions is relatively short. And here's one thing that you might find useful, is that if I have a list of tuples, A and B and C and D and E and F. Okay. So there's my list. What happens if I do a dictionary of that list? Look at that. It just takes that list and creates a dictionary. There's one potential problem which we will ignore, which is what happens in this list if there's two entries that are the same. You know, so for example, an A and a Z. You know, that's, in fact, I know that exists in those dictionaries. We're just going to ignore that, okay, and not worry about it. Only one entry will end up in here, and we're going to just ignore the fact that there's two entries that may map into one entry here. So that's a little nice little characteristic of the dictionary constructor here. You can give it a list of tuples, and we'll just convert it into a dictionary, making your life pretty nice. And so now when you run this program, it's going to go through the list-based translation. You leave that untouched. But now you will have added the dictionary-based translation, and it will have some real time here. And one of the things we're trying to show you here is, you may wonder, why do we have dictionaries? You know, when we could just use lists, and the answer is yes, you can. You're going to find that this number for doing it in dictionaries is a lot less than doing it with lists. And one of the reasons that you use dictionaries, particularly as things get bigger, is that they are efficient. Okay, they are very fast, and they're structured to be fast. They have what is known in computing terms as a hash, and it's very fast. All right, so with that, good luck.